Hi everyone and welcome for this tutorial how to paint the War Mammoth for Songs of Ice and Fire by Coolminiornot. Thanks again for Coolminiornot France who sent me this product so we can paint it and play it with the French channel the Dingue de Jeu. So as you can see, I'm going to use a lot of contrast in first time, and after that I'm going to use a little bit my airbrush just to push my highlight. For sure you can just apply the first part of the tutorial and have a mammoth, a raw mammoth ready to play on the battlefield. So the first step is pretty easy because I primed everything in black, and after I push a little bit of white with my airbrush everywhere, and now with some contrast I put just some skeleton horde on all the parts who are in some kind of bounce, all the parts who are going to be some bounce. And now I'm going to come back on every leather part with some Garganta fur from contrast again, and that's going to be applied on every leather part. At this moment you can see that my brush is pretty charged by with contrast, and I take care to don't apply only on the surfaces I need that color because the contrast is pretty covering ink, so you need to focus and to put it only exclusively on the part you need this color. As you can see right now I am going to use the contrast neck bit to paint all the fur part, and now with some basilicum gray I'm going to put this on all the some kind of metallic part, so that's going to be my primer base for this kind of part. And by the way, if at this moment you have some parts you don't know in which color you can put, you can always put some basilicum gray. Now I'm going to make the same with apothecary white just on the silex on some few parts of the miniatures. This step is not necessary, but it's always cool to have some different kind of color on some few things. Now with some Gilliman flesh I'm going to make the flesh part of this mammoth. I can do it right here, and by the way you can do the foot with the same color, but for the moment we do the foot with some basilicum gray. So let's go, and now with some plate made metal from Army Painter I put all the metallic part directly with this basical color, and that's going to create a nice and simple effect, so I can continue after to put my contrasts on the different part. Thanks again to Morgan who helped me to paint this mammoth, and this mammoth is going to join his army. And now with some airbrush I'm just going to push a little bit more highlights on some few parts. As you can see on the fur I come back with some flesh 2 from Pro Color, and I'm going to push this color on some few parts and focus on the part who are going to take the light. And after I make the same things, but I reduce the surface of my highlight and adding a little bit of white into my mix. The airbrush is pretty good when it's time to paint this kind of very large mammoth, and you can always find some very simple and low cost airbrush on Amazon or on a lot of different e-shop. Now I make same things for some bounce only with white, just to push more and more highlight. As you can see, sometimes I make some few mistakes, but it's not complicated. You just have to come back a little bit with contrast to clean all around the surfaces you reach with airbrush. And now I make the hand and some shadow with some few black color. and I make the same on the base. Just before, I'm going to add some snow effect with some pigment. I'm going to brush directly at the end of the foot. After that, we are going to add some snow on the base, and that will be done. I already do a tutorial how to base with snow some base, so don't hesitate to take a look to the previous tutorial on my channel, and you can find this kind of tutorial. And here is the Mammouth ready to play into the battle. Thanks again for watching. Once again, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel, to ask in the comment if you have any kind of question. Put click on the ring if you want to know when I release a new tutorial. And you can see that after that Mammouth, I'm going to paint the dragon from Game of Thrones again, and this time it's going to be at beginning first pre-release for my boss on Patreon, so you can support me on Patreon and become one of my bosses. And by the way, you will have access to special tutorial and to a tutorial in pre-release. And by the way, you can have access to a group on Facebook, so you can more easily show me your work, and I am going to give you some advice. Thanks again to Nathan for the work on this tutorial, and see you soon for the next one. Bye bye.